What's going on, everyone? The year is 2023 and the talk of game greatness is afoot. 2022 saw some massive stinkers in and outside of gaming, so let's hope that's not the case this year. From Bioshock inspired hybrids to widely controversial MMOs, I gathered together a list of some of the titles I'm excited to check out this year, provided nothing gets delayed. First up, we have Sons of the Forest, a sequel to the widely successful 2018 survival horror indie title The Forest. You begin on yet another cannibal and mutant-infested island, but this time you're tasked with searching and rescuing a filthy billionaire. You must make your way across dense forest, deep chasms, and pitch-black darkness in order to accomplish your goals. You get a whole heap of new weapons to take care of the creatures lurking about, whatever they may be. Along with new and improved crafting systems and an overhauled AI, N9 is doubling down on two of the elements in the original game that made it stand out in the first place. The building system has also gotten a lot of love from the looks of it, and I love me a good base building session. This time around, co-op is the focus of the game, so even if you play in single player, there's a goofy AI companion that acts as a pack mule for your gear and supplies. Did I mention he can't speak due to head trauma from the crash? Yeah, that's a thing. Sons of the Forest is shaping up to be just as beautiful, terrifying, and glitched out as its predecessor, and I can't wait. The release date is set for the end of February this year. Taking inspiration from dystopian hybrid shooters like Bioshock and Dishonored and smashing them together with raw in-your-face combat of titles like Doom comes Atomic Heart. Developed by Mundfish and set in the 1950s retro future utopian Russia, you assume the role of Sergei, codenamed P3, an elite KGB agent and a war veteran infused with military-grade implants. The USSR has just unveiled their new neural network known as the Collective. This polymer-powered neural network allows people to control robots with their minds. What could possibly go wrong with that? Well, something did, and now it's up to Sergei to figure out what happened. Fight against all forms of robot enemies and mutated creatures using traditional and experimental weapons and an arsenal of implant abilities to uncover the truth. I definitely get a Bioshock vibe from the combat in this game. The gameplay seems very fluid and satisfying. The abilities mechanic looks like it'll add a lot of depth to the firefights, and the graphics overall look incredible. The enemy designs, ability visuals, and model and environment texture quality look to be top tier, and if the trailer hasn't given it away by now, the soundtrack should be insane as well. Leading the charge is none other than the legend behind the kick-ass Doom soundtrack, Mick Gordon. Atomic Heart is set to drop February 20th. Arr! Third on me list of treasures to be plunder and be Skull and Bones. Now, I'm hesitant on this one mainly due to who is developing the game and their track record for at least the last 5 years. Ubisoft has been behind some great games in the past, but they have also released plenty of buggy, overly monetized, and half the time unfinished dumpster fires they call games. I'm really hoping this is not the case for Skull and Bones. The game looks sick. My initial reaction was, is this going to be a grown-up version of Sea of Thieves? And after checking out some footage, I can confirm that yes it is. There's nothing wrong with Sea of Thieves per se, but it's just lacking a little bit of depth to some of the mechanics, something that Skull and Bones is looking to pick the slack up of. Ships, crews, inventory, battle, all of it. You can command your own fleets or focus all your resources on a juggernaut ship. The crew members all have a mountain of tasks to attend to while sailing in order to keep the ship moving steadily. Pillage, plunder, and battle your way to becoming King of the Pirates! Oh wait, that's the wrong IP. So the game looks good and aims to be a true pirate simulator, so we'll see how close to the mark it lands. Already this game has seen some backlash from the community due to the multiple delays and the lack of features some are wanting. Ubisoft claims the delays are due to less than optimal test results from private test screenings, causing them to continuously fine-tune and polish the details. If this is in fact the case, then good. Recently it's become all too common that we have been burned by unfinished games being released in a barely playable state, many times as the result of relentless hounding from restless players. So let's just hope that Ubisoft is being truthful in their reasoning and allow them the time they request. Let's not standardize disaster launches like CDPR's Cyberpunk 2077. And I say this with as much reserve as I can. Let's hope Ubisoft doesn't drop the ball again. Currently, the release date is March 9th, so we'll see. Yo, Future Sharp here, and they did it. They did it again. Literally the day after recording this, Ubisoft goes and releases their revenue reports for 2022, and things aren't as tip-top as they claim. Reporting net losses instead of projected gains have prompted Ubisoft to delay and cancel some upcoming titles, including Splinter Cell VR and Project Q. I guess when real money is on the table, actual priorities start to become apparent. On top of the games canceled, they also announced that Skull and Bones will be delayed yet again. Marking this as the 6th delay in pushing the release date out to any time between now and 2024, players are starting to lose faith that this game will even be released finished, with some starting to speculate that the only reason the game is still in active development is due to contractual obligations between Ubisoft and the Singapore government. This is really starting to turn into a pirate's tale, and with every delay, the dreams of sailing the open seas drift further and further away. Fingers crossed on this one, but don't hold your breath. The next game on my list is the 16th installment of Final Fantasy. Square Enix is going back to the medieval fantasy roots with this one. You find yourself in a classical European era world known as Valestia, a land brimming with mother crystals. These mother crystals have bestowed upon the people a sort of miasma called aether, giving them the ability to conjure magic, for better or for worse. Unrest soon falls on the many kingdoms of Valestia as the tension between them starts to rise in the pursuit of the aether. But now a new evil has appeared, the Blight. It is spreading and looking to destroy the world. You start out as the leading character, Clive, along with AI companions in typical Final Fantasy party fashion. Unlike their previous title, Final Fantasy XV, which featured a full open world experience, 16 is actually stepping away from the open world concept and is instead approaching it with more of a linear, field area level design concept. I'm not really sure where the stagnation talk has come from. 10 was linear, 12 was open world, 13 was linear with a big open field, 15 was open world, and if you include Final Fantasy VII Remake, that one was more linear than not. Seems pretty fluid to me. 16 is going to maintain its action-oriented combat system versus its turn-based combat origins, which I'm a fan of. Final Fantasy XVI is coming to PS5 June 22nd, and the rest of us plebs get to wait until 2024. Alright, the rest of these games don't have definite release dates, but are supposed to be coming out this year. My experiences with Alan Wake have so far not involved the actual game yet. Quantum Break and the more recent release, Control, are set in the Alan Wake universe and make reference to Wake and the lore throughout both games. That said, I have yet to make my way to the game that started it all, and what better reason than in anticipation for the sequel. It's been a decade since we saw the launch of Alan Wake, to critical acclaim nonetheless. Now Alan is back to write an end to the story once and for all. You pick up where the first game left off, and from what I can tell, it takes no time flat to bring you right back to the intensity felt during the original. Being that a full decade of technology growth has happened between 1 and 2, Remedy Entertainment has emphasized how much they have used these advancements in development, from graphical detail and lighting mechanics to a big focus on the survival and horror aspect, and AI programming overall. Remedy is very excited to bring us Alan Wake the way it was intended. Players will also get to learn a lot more about the inside of Alan's mind along the way. The lore for these games have always added a well-deserved layer of depth to the main story, something that is going to be harnessed and built upon to its fullest in this new game. At the time of writing, there's no definitive release date yet, so I'm hoping anytime in 2023 would be close enough. Taking inspiration from the sci-fi classic, Dune Awakening is going to be an open-world, survival-based MMO. Great. Already the community is splintered into MMO versus single-player camps. At this point, MMOs seem to be trending in the quantity over quality areas of the chart, so I think I'm leaning more towards the single-player camp on this one. One of the highlights for Dune has always been its ambience-dripping atmosphere and its storytelling and lore, which I think an MMO-style game just wouldn't do justice to. I could be wrong. From what I could dig up, it sounds like this game will be a lot like Rust. With dedicated servers always running, you can't just log off and expect your base to be safe. Survival is going to be a major element in this game as well, so get ready for piss conversion suits. Dune is gearing up to be the best MMO spiced mining simulator of 2023. Part 2 is here, and Cloud, you better have brought the damn pizza for this one. If you sub to the channel, then you know I'm coming hot off the remake. You can check out my full review in the playthrough here. We ended the remake with the crew just leaving the aftermath of the events at Midgar. Searching for Sephiroth and a way to stop Shinra, we now venture out away from the metal saucer in the sky to the lands of Gaia. Looking to arrive in late winter this year, Rebirth is part 2 of a 3-part Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy. The first one was a smash hit for players old and new alike, with some of the more scholarly taking issue with some of the additional content and story. But for the most part, it's a faithful one-to-one adaptation of the original. Something that is being carried into Rebirth as well, along with some more additional content to keep things fresh. Although Division 1 has stated that some of the sequencing of events have been shuffled around a bit to provide better story cohesion, so you may find yourself noticing certain pacings don't line up 100%, but they emphasize that nothing has been removed. I really enjoyed my time with Remake, and I'm super stoked to continue the journey with Rebirth. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is another PS5 exclusive launch, so unless that becomes my avenue of attack, I, along with the rest of the PS5 cells, will have to wait a while longer. Still comes out in 2023 though, hopefully. DJ hates this game with a passion. I thought it was alright for what it was, when I wasn't getting killed every 5 seconds. I'm not very good at Dark Souls with guns, I guess. But that didn't stop me from sinking 30 plus hours into a self-inflicted dead end. Remnant 2 is going to be basically more Remnant with overhauled graphics, new enemies, new levels, new weapons, and more emphasis on co-op. Should be pretty fun when it comes around. Stalker 2 is going to be sick as hell. Another explosion has occurred at Chernobyl nuclear plant, causing the surrounding areas to yet again be cordoned off as an exclusion zone. The resulting catastrophe has caused all types of anomalies and mutants to pop up all throughout the zone. You play as Skiff, a scavenger inhabiting the radioactive surroundings. Another survival-based action game with horror elements. I'm starting to see a pattern here. Talk about games that we may never see released. The next 2 titles have unfortunately been in a state of perpetual delay for years now. Starfield is basically Skyrim and Fallout in all its broken glory, but this time, it's in space. Valheim is a Viking purgatory simulator with a kick-ass building system, if you put the time in to unlock blueprints. Both claim to be releasing this year, but we all know how that goes. And last but not least, we have Hogwarts Legacy, hands down the most controversial game to come out in the last 5 years. Even if you could care less about Hogwarts or Harry Potter, even if you try to actively avoid it, it's unavoidable. But what's all the outcry? Outcry. What's all the outcry about? Horribly gruesome gore? Predatory microtransactions? That you can use the killing curse? Nope, the author of the novels that created the world Hogwarts Legacy takes place in had some common sense takes over on Twitter, and the perpetually offended, always online, woke mob has decided to cancel anything and everything Harry Potter, and Hogwarts Legacy is not exempt from their little cringe list of doom. Yep, they're trying to cancel Hogwarts Legacy, and the response from the actual gaming community has been nothing short of marvelous. People are sick and tired of having their IPs destroyed left and right in the name of inclusion and diversity, and we are making it known with our money. Currently, Hogwarts Legacy is the top wishlisted game on Steam of all time. Pre-order sales are smashing projections and will break records on launch. Guaranteed. The message is loud and clear, and it's high time for publishers to start listening, something that Avalanche Software should be commended for. Do not bow to cancel culture, especially when the vultures causing all the problems don't even monetarily support the products they're claiming needs to be fixed. Stop fucking with video games. So that's some of the titles that, again, are supposed to be coming out this year, so we'll see. Already we have another delay with Skull and Bones, so that's fun. There are a number of games I'm keeping my eyes on right now that didn't get on this list. Elden Ring has some DLC coming, Cyberpunk has Phantom Liberty dropping mid-year, as well as a few indie and VR titles. I'm sure I'll discover something new along the way too. Let me know down below in the comments section what you're looking forward to playing in 2023. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Sharp out.